Lordy, Lordy, the podcast is on episode number 40. This week's episode is a little different. We're coming to the end of the year, and I'm here with Jacob and Charlie. We're not going to have an interview this week. It's our holiday special. We're going to have some calls from you guys. Yeah, so we're just going to have a fun time and celebrate sobriety. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Decima?
I'm doing good. I've had a lot of end of the year surprises, but triggers everywhere, but I'm not thinking about using. So I'm celebrating that.
Yeah, I'm coming up on 9 months, a couple days before Christmas. And it's exciting to start thinking about this in terms of quarters now, And in March, I'll have a year, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I don't actually day count. I don't
Either.
don't remember when my I know it was April, the end of April, but I don't remember when my actual day was. And I only know because of my alcohol sobriety date because I put it in an app, and I know I'm coming up on 5 years in, I think it's January 20 something for that. Yeah, it's exciting.
Very.
And when you were talking about triggers, Decima, I went to the office this morning at work. I go in like 2 days a week, and first thing I saw was like a half-drank bottle of wine. And I will be honest, when I was at the end of my Kratom use, I was really like, it just wasn't working anymore. I was really thinking about drinking again, and I didn't think about it at all. I just walked right by it, didn't pay it no mind. So grateful for that.
That's so cool. And it's crazy that you said that because I guess it's just a time for triggers. I would not have ever called myself an alcoholic. And I said I haven't been thinking about using, but let me take that back. I did last week start having this weird urge to drink. And I actually went so far as to buy a 6-pack of beer, and it is still sitting in my fridge. It's really weird. Like normally I wouldn't even restrict myself on alcohol during the holidays, but it's so different this time. I don't know. So now I'm just like, it's not that I can't have it. I just don't really want it as bad as I thought I did when I bought it. You know what I mean?
The triggers, when you're traveling, time alone, parties and workplaces where they might have booze. I mean, that's the one good thing about Kratom. I'm not going to show up somewhere that will have batches of Kratom sitting around.
Yeah.
So you have to drive by it most everywhere in America.
True. So I'm kind of wondering how you guys are doing it. This is all of our first year without Kratom specifically for a long time. How's it going?
I think it's going pretty well. I'm excited about not having to buy a bunch of stupidly expensive Kratom extract shots and, sneak away every 3 to 4 hours to take one. And then I think last year I was at my in-laws' place and I ran out and had to make up some weird excuse to go buy some. And they live in a rural area. Then I had to drive like an hour. So, I was gone for 2 hours or so making up random excuses. So I'm excited not to do that. I'm actually going to a football game on Saturday, and I don't usually even watch football anymore, but I think that'll be cool, and I won't have to worry about any sort of dosing or did I bring enough Kratom? Am I going to get, is someone going to ask me what it is on the way in if I get searched or something like that? So, like you mentioned, there's a lot of triggers, and I think for addicts, the holidays can be very tricky. Like some of us have childhood trauma, some of us have family situations that are complicated. I mean, other people that are non-addicts have that stuff too, but I think we typically gravitate toward some sort of substance to take the edge off or deal with that. So I think if you're kind of feeling that way, remember you're not alone. I think a lot of us feel that way. The holidays are often shown on TV as this magical time, and they often are, and I don't want to be the buzzkill, but I know for some people it can be challenging. So just be honest with yourself, and if you need to take some time for yourself and step away from the the dinner or leave the gathering a little early, don't feel bad about it. No one will notice or likely probably care.
I agree. I'm actually really looking forward to all the same things, and also not feeling as overwhelmed with all of the tasks that I used to dose Kratom in order to be able to handle all these things you have to do in the holiday rush, and to actually be fully present with my family in a way that only you guys can probably relate to, and other Kratom users, that, yeah, we're there when we're using, but we're not fully there. And we think that they don't know, but they sense something's off too. So it's going to be pretty cool to be fully there for my family.
This is jogging my memory. Last year, I remember my first quit was like some time after Thanksgiving, and I lasted about 5 days, and I got back at it. And then now I'm remembering between Christmas and the New Year, we did a ski trip, and I had like 4 teenagers and me. Like a rocket scientist, I thought, okay, we had this beautiful Airbnb. We were going to be skiing and be up north. It's a perfect time to get off this stuff. I think it was like on day 2, similar to what Jacob was. I was like, oh, wow, I need to go drive into the big city. I need to get some back to normal use, the bad use. And the last day we were skiing, I think I had taken too many of the shots. I left my I was just so spacey. I left my damn skis the side of the ski resort as we were loading up.
Yay, we're all going into the new year fresh and clean off of Kratom. And look, we're all about to be counting by years too. So that's amazing. Definitely we're celebrating.
The other thing I think that's pretty awesome is not being as financially strapped as I was due to using so much extract. Actually not wondering if I'm going to have to put all these, I don't buy a lot of gifts, but the gifts I do buy, am I going to have to put them on a credit card, or am I going to have to, stretch my paycheck out to make that happen? That's been kind of rewarding, I would say, for sure.
Absolutely. I did want to say something about what Jacob was saying about the trauma a lot of people experience during Christmas. And I wanted to point out that during my sobriety, I've been trying to face a lot of that trauma and stuff. And I've actually been one of those people that really I would go so far as to say I hated Christmas. Like, let's just get this shit over with. And this year is the first year, like, I'm dipping my toes in the Christmas water, enjoying it, the little elf on the shelf shit with my kid and stuff. And I'm not full blown Christmas spirit, but it feels different once you start dealing with some of that trauma and stuff. So I definitely encourage anybody out there that's on this healing journey to face those traumas.
I also think for our listeners that maybe are still using Kratom, trying to quit, a lot of people have PTO time, and after the holiday, good time to maybe, if you're off and you're just sitting around, or it's cold outside, you don't have much to do. Good time to maybe think about stopping the Kratom.
Pretend it's the
getting off for good.
I agree. Love it.
Charlie, our episode this week is focused on the Seinfeld episode of the tradition of Festivus. I know we asked guests to call in with grievances and I think Festivus miracles, but are you going to do the feats of strength?
See, now I have to watch this episode. I haven't watched.
This episode is going to be devoted to how you've all disappointed me so much.
The grievances, yes.
I know what I'm watching tonight.
Yeah, pretty classic.
Well, that's a good segue. I'm grateful for everybody that called in, and thank you. Our first caller, actually, the first one, just a little trigger warning. It is from somebody who had a loved one who died from Kratom. It's actually she called in twice. It's a 6-minute call. She wants everybody to quit. Our position isn't that Kratom isn't the new fentanyl or anything, but there are just some risk factors with it. Take it seriously.
You're not crazy if you're thinking that you're suffering from Kratom addiction or even bad symptoms. You're not crazy.
Yes. And like seizures.
I'll just touch on, like you said, Dr. McCurdy out of Florida. That was the one that was saying, like, the scientists don't really know, like, the safe dose and all the interactions with various different substances with Kratom. So I think that was something I never thought about when I used. It wasn't only until, like, recently that I heard that I just assumed that, like, low doses were fine, high doses were probably more problematic. But I think we're guinea pigs, so just keep that in mind if you're using. I don't want to scare anybody, but just be safe out there.
Yeah, I also just want to say that you're not alone. Don't give up. And I am so proud of everybody that quit this year. I have seen so many people quit. It's just amazing. So I'm rooting you on, even if I don't know you or see you. I'm rooting you on in energy. Let's just take this into the new year. We've got this, you guys.
Final thought. Resolutions, right? New Year's resolutions. Thing to keep in mind. You don't have to wait until the new year to make a life change. You can do it right now. But we'll talk about resolutions on the 31st.
Yeah, and we'll see everybody New Year's Eve with a new episode. And yeah, we'll have an interview and we will talk about New Year's resolutions for the year. So until then,
Merry Christmas.
Hey, quitters! We are dashing through recovery this holiday season and clearing the path for a new year full of recovery. It is quite common to see a lot of people set a goal of sobriety as their New Year's resolution. So, as a little preparation tool and mostly entertainment for all of those people and the rest of you, we decided to poll the members of our Quitting Kratom Facebook groups. We asked them what were their worst withdrawal symptoms when they quit Kratom. There were a lot of symptoms at the top of that list that we heard over and over again, and even some honorable mentions. So we took those symptoms and dressed them up in festivity for your reading pleasure. That's right, we are going to spare your poor eardrums the misery of our singing. But Charlie has linked the list in the description of this episode, and he even added a little jingle jangle for some extra Christmas pizzazz. Just kidding, I lied. The first verse goes a little something like this. On the first day off Kratom, my withdrawal gave to me. I'm freaking out with anxiety. Yeah. And then from there, they progressively get worse, much like my singing, for about a week until we finally round that corner and find a little holiday relief by that 12th day. So, without further ado, our gift to you is the 12 withdrawals of Kratom. Here's to hoping that you sang it a lot better than I did.
My name is Madison. I'd like to talk about somebody very special to me that came into my life in the most unexpected time. We met sometime 2019. I fell in love with this boy. Later on into the relationship, so to call it, probably about 2020 is when it started. He came home and he showed something to me. It started off being a little shot, like looked like an energy shot or whatever. I was concerned because, for one, I don't drink energy shots, and for two, it just seemed off. But he showed it to me, and he was like, "This is, supposed to stimulate me. It's supposed to be a mood booster." And I was off about it for a good while. He kept bringing home more shots, Kratom, like little tiny bottles of it. And then it just started progressing from there. He started bringing home bags. He started taking the powdered substance, putting it in his drink on a daily basis. He then proceeded to put it in his mouth, just taking the straight up powder, following with a drink. But it would progress, he'd take more by the day, more by the hour. And at this point, I'm over here crying because I've never been with somebody that had an addiction, that strong and heavily. But you're in that situation, you kind of don't know what to do but to just, I don't know. I mean, you love them, you try to get them help, but sometimes it's hard. But his addiction kept getting worse. Fast forward. Hello, this is Madison again, part 2, because I forgot that this was a 3-minute deal. But fast forward to 2021, 2022, 21 is around when he started actively having seizures. He would have it on a daily basis, not a daily basis, every other day, every other so often. And sometimes once a month he would have these seizures. And, fast forward, to make the story short, fast forward to last year, February 22nd, he took Kratom that day. I was out eating with my family. He took Kratom. And he basically just started seizing right in front of me and my mom at the time. He went into cardiac arrest. He was unresponsive. He wasn't breathing. I checked his pulse. At that moment, I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out. I was crying. Paramedics came. People came to help, comfort me, to respond to him. He gets transmitted to Vicksburg. He stays in there for, I'd say probably less than a week. He was on life support. He was brain dead. And his organs were shutting down. He didn't make it. He was leaving on his own. And now he is in my china cabinet. So to whoever is battling this addiction, ask that you please seek help. Don't be afraid to seek help. And you are loved. You are so loved. Don't forget that you are loved and you can fight through this, okay? And don't end up in a china cabinet. Don't be that person, okay? You are loved. We all love you. Everybody's here to support you. You got this, okay? Much love. Thank you.
Hey, Charlie and gang, this is Joey calling in for a Festivus update. I just wanted to share, one of my grievances is that when I hear Kratom is safe because it's natural, or that it's in the same family as coffee, absolutely despise that. I don't consider caffeine in the same family as prescription pain meds. I mean, the analogy is just terrible, and that one really pisses me off. Festivus miracle is that I was able to break this Kratom cycle for the first time in at least over 10 years. That is a miracle in itself. I almost went to 8 months. I had a small slip right before my 8th month, but just to have at least 7 months of no Kratom is a miracle beyond anything I could have fathomed even just a year ago. So that to me is amazing. I'm grateful of my recovery and I'm feeling so much better. Life gets so much better. Each month I learn something new. I improve more and more and more. And when I slipped, I learned how much I hate Kratom. Like, it was just a terrible feeling. I thought it was fixing my anxiety. It was making the anxiety worse. Like, I just forgot all the negatives that came with it. I told myself a lie. And I just stumbled upon one little capsule when I was cleaning out my closet. And it doesn't matter if you have 365 days or 1 day or 8 years. Every day you wake up, you're going to be a Kratom addict, just like me, or I'm a Kratom addict, and all that stride time doesn't mean anything when you say yes just one time to it. So I know the difference now. It was a great learning lesson, and I am just hopeful that everybody will have a fantastic holiday, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. And I want to wish and pray that everyone listening to this to find some hope that this can be over. Life will get so much better with time and abstinence from Kratom. Thank you, Charlie and gang, for creating this beautiful podcast. Stay strong. Stay against Kratom. Take care, everyone.
Hey guys, Sean here. I just wanted to thank you guys for doing the podcast. I've had an on and off again relationship with Kratom for probably 5 years at this point. And always the hardest part about quitting is actually finding the motivation. So I'm listening to story after story that sound awfully familiar to mine. I'm not gonna lie, I have had some crazy manic spending spells as well as just anger issues, irritability all the time. And I'll ask myself, why the fuck am I even doing this if it's just making me miserable anyway? Well, anyway, you're lighting a fire under my ass, and I thank you for it. I can't ignore the problems anymore, and I'm going to do my best to get off this shit so I can finally say I've quit Kratom successfully like you guys. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, Charlie. I had to do a redo, so this is my official message. I promise. So, happy Festivus, Kratom, sobriety friends. This is Izzy from episode 7 here. I am still trucking along with 370 days of recovery by the time you're listening to this episode, which feels like a Festivus miracle all on its own. I actually just got my 1-year coin in the mail this week, so thank you, Charlie. By the way, a great choice to include Seinfeld and Festivus on the podcast. I was born and raised on Seinfeld, and it's my favorite show to this day. But on that note, I'd like to say my true Festivus miracle this year is that I have not only cleansed myself from Kratom, but all sorts of toxicity from family, friends, to the workplace. Positive vibes only over here, my friends. Do no harm, but take no shit. As far as grievances, I've definitely got beef with all the inflation and crazy costs this year. So if y'all are struggling, don't be too hard on yourself and just try to remember the holiday season is about love and togetherness. And on the note of togetherness, I am so thankful for this community, Kratom Quitters, this podcast. I don't think I would have made it this far without you guys. I am so beyond thankful, and I just want to wish all of you, whether you're listening, if you're still using, or you're already in recovery, I hope you have a beautiful holiday season and journey since 2004. I will be enjoying the holiday season with my non-loved ones and my partner and my kids. Thanks to everybody who's listened to my story. Maybe even resonated with it or found belonging, as well as everybody else, anybody who's listened to any other story on this podcast. Cheers to health and healing, Kratom sobriety family. I hope you have a great holiday.
Justin and the whole crew from the podcast, everybody out there quitting Kratom. This is Cassandra with a K. I'm all over the Quitting Facebook support group, and I just want to wish everybody happy holidays. Special shout out to the Quitting Kratom support Facebook group. Helped me so much, and the Dopey Zoom Nation. Anyways, anyone who has an hour, a day, 6 months, or you're just curious about quitting, congratulations. I'm freaking proud of you. Happy holidays again. Take care.
Hey, Charlie and Kratom Sobriety. This is Jacob, and even though I'm a co-host on the podcast, I could not pass up leaving a voicemail for our Festivus celebration. So I was also a guest, but I figured that'd be okay. But anyways, like I said, this is Jacob, and I'm gonna start with airing a grievance. So I think my biggest grievance is just still the gaslighting and lies perpetuated from some in the Kratom activist, pro-Kratom community. You know, it really grinds my gears, as they say, when, you know, you have to, not be believed, or you're not believed when you tell someone they had a bad experience with the substance or whatever. So that still bothers me a little bit. Let's see, describe a Festivus miracle. Well, it's been almost 8 months since I've taken any Kratom extract, and, you know, before this 8-month stint, I couldn't get past 3 weeks, and I, you know, definitely kept relapsing. So I'm just thankful for that. I've got 8 months under my belt. Even though I'm doing it with the help of medicated-assisted treatment, I still think it's a pretty big miracle. Yeah, so best wishes to everybody for the holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
all that fun stuff, whatever holiday you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate any holidays, just wish you a Kratom-free new year, and keep up the good work, everybody.
Hey there, Kratom Kickers. This is me. Some of you know me as Crystal Seth, and some of you know me from Dopey Zoom. I met a lot of you in the Thursday night Kratom meeting on Dopey Zoom, and it's such a great group of people. I'm grateful to know you guys and to be able to be a part of that thing. Even though I'm not a Kratom kicker, I certainly will not be a Kratom starter. But if you haven't checked out that meeting, it's Thursday nights at 7 p.m. on Dopey Zoom. And, in Dopey Zoom, it's a great place to go for anybody that struggles or is adjacent to recovery, addiction, any of that, Kratom specific or otherwise. We have meetings 7 days a week, at least 3 meetings a day. Great place. So I would say generally 7 p.m. every day and 1 p.m. every day. So that varies with additional times and things. But that's a pretty safe bet to see us in there. And the third one is usually a late night one. Maybe it's 10 p.m. Eastern, maybe it's 11 p.m. Eastern. Speak meetings on Friday night. Yeah, it's just a really great community, and I'm lucky to be a part of it and to know all of you guys that I have had the pleasure of knowing. So I just want to say happy holidays, and good luck to everybody that's trying to quit. I know it's tough, but there is us, and none of us can do any of it alone. We can do it together. Thank you.
Happy holidays. It's Decima, and my holiday grievance is big corporations replacing human beings with automation and overseas contractors. Also said corporations taking part in mass layoffs right before the holidays. I don't know why this is a trend, but we really need to stop this. It's just absolutely heartless, ridiculous, and it really pisses me off. But fear not. I have a Festivus miracle as well. When one door closes, another one opens, yada, yada, yada. You best believe that tower must crumble in order for a beautiful new castle to be built. And I now have an amazing job that I never would have even considered looking for, thought about, or found if had not been laid off by this slimy ass company that thought it would be cool to lay me off right before Christmas. So, yeah, I am good to go. Happy with that Festivus miracle. I hope everybody is having a great holiday season, and I wish everybody the best out there. Keep it Kratom free.
Charlie and the team over at the podcast. This is Dave Coleman, San Francisco. I wanted to leave you a happy Festivus message, because Festivus is for the rest of us. And yeah, I just wanted to, I'm extremely happy this year, this holiday period, because I'm not using it. This time last year, I was back home in Ireland with a kilo of Kratom powder that I brought over, and I was dosing 3 times, 4 times a day, or probably every 3 hours, I'd say. And it was like that for the past years. So I'm coming up on 6 months no Kratom in my life. I feel great. So I don't have to air any grievances with myself right now. Fantastic. But I'll air grievances with the American Kratom Society people that are relevant. Anyway, I'll keep it on a positive note. Thanks, Charlie and team all there. This is this podcast, that Reddit profile. I kind of what got me going. I've been wanting to quit for a while. I did a 3-day detox where I just went from using probably 30 grams a day to 20, 10, and 6 nothing. And then I listened to David Goggins' podcast, and I went walking until I could jogging till I could run a bit faster. Now, I signed up for a triathlon after a few months out, and I did that. I was so happy doing it sober. Slowest time I've ever done in all the races, but it was the happiest I've done because it was a clean race. They couldn't have got me on doping if they'd pulled the blood sample. Anyway, happy Festivus to everyone. Hope you're dancing around the pole of Festivus. Feet to strength. Let's say we have feet to mind strength now. Like kicking Kratom, staying off it, and do relapse, get back off it again. Good community around. Love you guys all. I don't know what the Festivus song is, but we'll come up with some. Alright, take care. Bye.
Hey there, this is Zach Burke, Northfield, Minnesota. I was on an episode, let's say early November, and just wanted to reach out and wish everyone a happy Festivus. My grievance would be, we live on a hobby farm that we moved into about 6 months ago, and along with my 6 boys and another boy on the way, we have 2 Nigerian dwarf goats along with some other animals. And although they do eat a lot of our weeds and a lot of the other stuff that we appreciate them eating, they've also started to get into all of my wife's plants and flowers and just about everything else they can get there that they can get into. And so we have to often go out there and yell at them. It's Jimmy and Willie the goats, and we have to spray them with water guns to try to deter them from destroying just about everything. So the free ranging for Jimmy and Willie is probably coming to an end. The Festivus miracle, that would be that we can get my kids, my 6 boys, to stop sounding like a herd of elephants when they run down the stairs or go down the stairs any time of the day, including just when my wife and I have gotten the baby down for bed and gotten ourselves down to bed. It's a miracle if we can get through one night where they don't wake everyone back up, despite all of the reminders sounding like a herd of elephants going down the stairs. But anyway, very grateful. Thanksgiving was yesterday. We had 30 people, friends and family that we hosted at our property, and the promises, that they talk about in the big book have really come true for me. And I know that everything I have is contingent on, my spiritual condition and what I do each day to maintain that. So this podcast has been a huge help to me, all the way back to when I was most recently just getting off of Kratom, and even when I listen to current episodes now to be a reminder of what I never want to go back to. So grateful for everybody involved in the podcast and Charlie for putting this together, and I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks.
Hello, this is Cindy Ross. My grievance this Festivus holiday lies with the American Kratom Association for the nefarious and careless behavior concerning the seriousness of the Kratom epidemic. Their ignorance contributed to the death of my healthy 30-year-old son, Max. But with all things in life, we take the sad and negatives and try to find the positives or happy side. Max would want me to keep fighting for Kratom regulation, the proper regulation, not the American Kratom Association way, and possibly the disbanding of the American Kratom Association. On that note, let's keep fighting and have a happy holiday. I'm signing off.
The Festivus grievance, here's mine. Kratom isn't talked about nearly enough. Like the ugly stepchild of the addiction and recovery world. But for my Festivus miracle, KratomSobriety.com is here. Great resource, great website, and the podcast. This is Grant from SoberLiningPlaybook.com, calling to wish everybody happy holidays and to thank Charlie and everyone else involved for KratomSobriety.com. If you want to read a recent piece on the regulatory environment for Kratom, go to SoberLiningsPlaybook.com. Sorry, self-promotional plug there. But I put it on our website under the SLP Insights tab. And for anyone looking for help for treatment, there's a resource that I recommend because I work for Shatterproof. The Shatterproof Treatment Atlas. That's www.treatmentatlas.org. It helps you look for treatment in 14 different states. There's an assessment you can take to let you know what you should be looking for. And if you don't live in one of those states, go to findtreatment.gov. Treatment's out there, that's possible. And a lot more people are recognizing now how much of a problem Kratom is. So really thankful that this community, website, and the podcast exist. Happy holidays all. Thanks.
What's Kratom people? Charlie, Kratom podcast. Happy New Year, happy holidays. I just wanted to come through and express my love for everybody out there struggling in and out of this thing. And thank you, Charlie, for setting up this podcast back when I was really, really in the thick of Kratom addiction. It was just online threads and Kratom online, and it's like the most solitary kind of sickening, impending doom thread I've felt. And so how beautiful to have a flourishing community of people to recover with, to talk about this insane, insidious plant that you just think, oh, it's cool. I stopped. Now my tolerance is lowered. I've been chill. I'll just do it today. Or as long as I don't do it for more than 3 days in a row, I know I'll just do it on the weekends. Come to find, 6 months later, bludgeon it up. Yeah, it's madness. I have been taking naltrexone for a bit. It's really helping me. I have all kinds of a whole arsenal of things that I like to use to change the way that I feel. But the naltrexone is helping, and I'm really like leaning into recovery and talking out loud about all the things that are excruciating and shameful with people who will just sit there and resonate and hold me with love and understanding has definitely been the catalyst to getting some traction again, to having a clear head, to being able to, you know, find some peace in this crazy, crazy life. So, mad love for everyone. And I think we're really blessed to have this community, and speak up. Don't be alone with it. It's definitely the thing that's going to save us. And we need each other. We need to hear all the things so that we can remember that we aren't as horrible as we think we are. We're just sick. We're just looking for relief, you know, and we deserve to feel good. And there's better ways to do it than the fucking sludge. Sorry, Charlie, I know you don't like swearing. It's a Happy New Year. And be well and be happy and peace, my brothers and sisters, in and out of recovery.
Hello, this is Charlie. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a peaceful Hanukkah, a sunny solstice, a joyful Kwanzaa, a crazy Krampus, a happy Festivus, of course. To the Buddhists out there, namaste. For those who find this period of the year too overtly religious or over-commercialized, I hope you have some time off. So, my grievance, I have to agree with Izzy. It's with inflation. Inflation, since I quit in March, has eaten up all the savings that I'm making from not using Kratom anymore. You know, I calculated at one point, I spent almost $3,000 between January 1st and March 23rd. Early this spring and summer, I just felt like I had a lot of extra money in my pocket, but not anymore. The other day I went to breakfast, I got an omelet and a coffee. When you add tax and the tip, it was $22. And then this week I went to the gas station. I got one of those dime-sized Reese's cups, and that was 50 cents. And I went to the drugstore and got a holiday Santa Reese's Pieces cup, and that was $1.50. So I imagine candy bars now are going $3 to $3.50. As for my Festivus miracle, I have to say it's this podcast. It's grown beyond my imagination. I'm so glad that Krista and now Jacob and Decima are part of the team. You know, the first couple of months in May and June, we were getting 400 listens a month, and now we're getting almost 400 listens a day. And this podcast is sort of serving as my Suboxone. You know, this summer in August, I had a rough week, and I actually found myself in a vape store, and I was looking at the Kratom products. Unfortunately, my pride got in the way, and sometimes you can leverage your character defects. You know, I was like, I'm a host of a Quitting Kratom podcast. I probably shouldn't be taking this, and I avoided it. And I hope all of you are able to find different tools and supports and networks so that you don't have to quit alone, and you have more information at your hand. You don't feel like you're a nut job, because this stuff is addictive for some people, and it can be a full-out addiction like any drug or booze for some of us. A little bit of good news. Decima and Jacob and I touched base, and we're going to continue doing this for at least one more year of weekly episodes. So we need another 50 people or so to be guests. We're going to try to change things up and improve things, make our interviews a little bit more conversational and things like that. If you have any ideas, let us know at kratomsobriety@gmail.com. And thanks for listening, and I really appreciate everybody that called in for this holiday special. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and until next time, keep it Kratom free.
Out of all the reindeer, you know you're the mastermind. Run, run, a Rudolph, a Randolph's not too far behind. Run, run, a Rudolph, Santa's got to make it to town. And I'm thinking, hurry, we can take the freeway down. And away went a Rudolph over it.